morning, everybody. Welcome back to Butler Family Farm. And as you can see, we are at the Ozark Homesteading Expo. This is the first day of the event, and I'm going to have different snippets going through. Jerry will put it all together as one video, but then
they have two little buildings over there and another building that's enclosed over the other end. There you are.
Is getting set up for his live stream that starts about 10 o'clock. So I will share what I see and stick with us. Here is the map of the expo, and we are actually over here.
This is proof of life. I'm still alive.
We're over in this building. It's very cool, and they're going to do a 4 jars canning demo. So we're parking early to get our seat because I was at tent 1 earlier right here for a sourdough starter, all about sourdough, and it was packed. And I got there a little bit late, started at 10. But anyway, so we're parking here at the Omar building, and Jerry's kind of cooling off a little bit. We're having some issues with internet and the phone.
Yeah, too hot.
So I'm not sure that we're going to get any kind of lives during the day. We might be able to get some in the evening with people that are here, YouTubers that we know. But I'm going to go outside and just show you a little bit of where we're at. I think this is the back of the buildings that have the vendors in it. There's this rock building. The Omar building is just basically a setup for the Ozark Expo people. And then the Centennial building has vendors in here, and I haven't gone in there yet. I started to walk down a little bit and then came back out. And then there's another building up here, there's restrooms. There's a building, you can't see, but it's like a big livestock arena building. No, area, excuse me, livestock area that they're doing talks in. And then over here is tent 2, and tent 1 is way back there. Over here they've got food vendors, and you can kind of see the line starting up. But it's quite warm, as you can see. It's a fairgrounds. What do you think the temperature is? And we're walking on dirt, not very much grass. I didn't bring my phone out, so this gentleman's going to tell me what's happening right now.
Not as many people. I waited in line for
It's 91 in Branson. Show me where we are.
Yeah, it says it's 91 right now, but we're under in the 4 States area, and we're about an hour from home, from Joplin area. We're under an excessive heat advisory until 10 o'clock. So you probably add. Hi, look who I found. Hi, 9 acres.
Hiya, hiya.
We are parked in the second row in this building that's going to have a special, not a special, but an additional demonstration by Angela of 4 jars. And I'm really excited to be able to watch that. Plus it's cooler in here, and Jerry's feeling a little bit better. And we're sitting here with 9 acres, Dale and Lisa. She went out, he's right there. Anyway, I don't know if they'll let me video, but if they don't, I'll tell you all about it when it's done. And then we're probably going to go out to look at some vendors because Norwood Sawmill is here, and Jerry's very, very, very interested in talking with them. So stay tuned.
In the firm, I teach firmly that infrastructure is the key to success. If you don't have proper infrastructure, you're chasing your tail, so to speak, afterwards, right? Because then you're worried about where the water's coming from, then you're worried about how you're going to move fencing, then you're worried about, what am I going to do at this point? So we hightailed it, and we went ahead and did infrastructure, livestock, infrastructure, livestock, infrastructure, livestock. Now, a year and 9 months later, we own 100% of our own meat source, from our beef to our dairy cows to our pork, pasture-raised chicken, pasture-raised ducks, pasture-raised turkey, and our meat rabbits as well too. Okay, so I'm not
Out to make a kind of a U-shaped cutting edge.
This is
Probably like that. Probably like
Homestead
that.
iron.
Like I
He's
said, I make
using
them out of leaf frame,
forge to
and I
make
cut
these
off a
things.
piece to bring around.
Some ideas.
Yeah.
Robert to make.
All together. Right.
Pretty cool.
Little tiny house vendor, and then the Missouri School of Plain and Practical Living Skills blacksmithing, and this was going to be Norwood Sawmill, but he couldn't come, so the Ozark Sawyer portable sawmill service came out to replace him. And then over here is, I believe, log splitting company. But yeah, some outdoorsy stuff out here as well as your regular vendor kind of thing. We are down here where the sawmill demo's going to be. It's going to be on this wood miser, which is a replacement for Norwood's, but
Good morning.
Morning, sir. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm working.
You are.
Good.
See, this is a LT70. It has I don't know if it's got an extended deck on it here or not, but he can cut. Well, I can't remember. He said would tell me though now, but he's gonna do a cut saw in here in a second.
Show me the bad in this, sir.
So we can video record it and we can show it on this thing, as long as I said, as long as we have the coverage on here going. But this has a remote. This is not where you push it. This has a motor that actually runs on with a remote control. You stand at the end. So this is what's going on.
If I'm here next year, I'll bring a whole bunch of those to sit on.
farmers still interested, so we are waiting for the demo, the talk that's in a tent behind us to finish up, so that the sawmill, the noise won't overpower her. And she should be done shortly, but he's prepping right now, so. This gentleman is actually from our neighborhood. He lives in Purdy, and there is a dealership for this wood miser in Mount Vernon, which is like just, I don't know, not that far. Jerry used to go to the VA hospital, VA clinic in Mount Vernon before they transferred, so.
I am portable with it. I also have a kiln drying service, so if you have lumber that you want turned into furniture grade quality lumber, just bring it to me. We'll dry it up and get it done for you.
And he's in Purdy, which is close to me. So, but anyways, he's gonna fire this up here in a second, and it's all, you don't, excuse me, you don't push it all. It's all by motor, right?
Yeah, it's all hydraulic.
All hydraulic.
All hydraulic, runs off the diesel motor. It's got
Okay.
a 55 horse Yanmar on it. I've got the barker or debarker attachment here of the blade on the bark. Peel off just a 1/4 of an inch, and then the blade will split that 1/4 of an inch as it goes through, and you won't hit no rocks or anything. Keeps your blade sharper for a lot longer.
A lot longer.
Yep.
So we're gonna keep this running as long as today I had self coverage. Yesterday I had no coverage here.
They're saying we might get flooded out down here in the
Might get flooded out.
in the arena area.
Oh well, you
Say
know.
that- That's all your settings. A1.
Setting computer up, computerized part of it.
But anyways, I'll find Susan, and I'm gonna plug my phone in.
Little boy's interested in big boy tools.
Well, I don't think it's that loud over in the tent, but you got speakerphones and that.
And here we go. Jerry's over there doing live as long as his camera lasts, which would be cool if
Okay. I understand. Oh.
Let's go like to a tent. This is not going to do much.
looks like can be a one-man job.
Yeah, let's go see if there's any fish in the pond.
I mean, actually, it's pretty quiet for the beach, though. Dog locks. They're locking it in the side. There's two on one side, one on this side.
How we all doing, guys? Pretty good. And anybody have any sawmill experience? Got a couple guys over here. All right, so this is the Wood-Mizer LT70. It's the biggest portable sawmill that you can buy on the market right now. I got into this about 4 years ago. I liked doing a lot of woodworking and found out that lumber was too expensive to buy. So everything that I want to build, chicken coop, greenhouse, all the things a wife wants, it's all on our men to-do list, was going to cost me a great amount of money. And so I got into sawmilling. I grew up as a logger, so I already kind of had an idea of what I was doing. Dad owned some sawmills, circle mills, not a band mill. I'm the first one in the family to have one. But I started with a small one. It was all manual and it was a lot of work. This is what I used to turn my log on the sawmill. I had to come out here and I had to actually hand clamp it. It was just, I could do about 4 logs in a day. It took so long having the manual sawmill. I went from that to an LT40. It was the first hydraulic sawmill that I had. And it did everything that this one does, but it did it about half the speed. And about 6 months after owning it, I decided that I wanted something a little bit faster because I was enjoying it and I wanted to get more done so I'd have more time to do woodworking. So I bought this one and I started cutting, and then I realized, well, I got all this wood sitting out in my lot and it's all green and I don't have any way to build with it yet because you can't build green lumber. So I bought a kiln. It took me 2 years to put together, get it running, get all the parts, all the electrical. I had to do a lot of research on how to do electrical. The only thing I was good at was shocking myself. And I do now offer the drying service as well. It's not portable, it's at my house in Perkins, Missouri. The sawmill is portable. I've traveled up to 4 hours away. I've sat up in front of another guy's sawmill and milled his logs for him while he watched. He says you can do it faster than I can. So I don't sell the sawmills. This is just my own personal sawmill. It's my own journey that I've taken through life. And I wake up, I get to see my wife. We work together. She's the one that stacks the lumber. We have a newborn, so she's not here. So unfortunately, I have to do it all myself. But I'm gonna go ahead and run this pine log through. I'm just gonna cut it 1 inch thick and show you guys how fast it is. going, especially on bigger logs. But the new program is to take the whole lot. So if you ever have somebody that's milling for you and you see wavy boards, it's either they don't have the blade tight enough, well, the drive belt could also be loose, and then, but mostly it's sap buildup.
So is it kind of like high maintenance to run one of those?
It's not very high maintenance at all. You'll spend more
If you know
time
what you're
fixing
doing.
your tractor than you will this.
You know what you're doing, it's not high maintenance, but if you're a greenie and you don't know all
Every
this stuff,
50,
you go through
so
mistakes.
there's a book right there. That's the main, well, there's two of those actually. I didn't bring the other one, but one's a part and one's tells you how to work on everything.
Okay.
And every 50 hours, it takes me maybe 2 hours in the day, every 50 hours to just kind of go through, do the oil change, grease, make sure everything's packed good.
Do you sharpen your own blades, or?
I don't. I use them till they're dull and I throw them away. There's a lot of people that do have them resharpened, but
And you can burn a blade up in a day.
yeah.
So what does it cost?
Well, I like to use bimetal at the house, and those are $82 a piece, my cost. So they're not cheap, and these are about half of that. These are the double hards. That's what I usually use for customers, because customers want cheap. That's the whole thing. They don't want to pay for quality, they want to pay for cheap. So.
Missouri is not the highest paying state there
Well,
is.
so
you
a
gotta take
bimetal
care.
blade can cut through about 5 or 6 nails, and you'll never even know it. If I were to hit even the smallest nail with this, it would stop. I mean, it's just, it just dulls it real quick.
Does that
have like an internal sensor, like when it senses too much load?
Just my ears.
Yours?
Yep, just your ears. It'll really bog down and burn
I'm
your
at
drive
15
belt up.
minutes. It's up to you.
That motor will not.
Stations.
It's just a whole one
Now,
time.
yeah, you want to tell me and tell the guys who are watching, like, how much wood can you cut an hour? You were telling me that yesterday.
Well, by myself and my wife, we can usually get around 600 board foot out in an hour.
Now, I understand board feet, but a lot of people may not.
Board foot is 12 by 12 by 1 inch, so it's like a square foot, but it's an inch thick.
Okay, so
Say, I'll tell you what, I'll do something real simple here. And I don't have to do it on the phone, but I want to, so that we
sure.
can understand it. So we have an inch of thickness. We're going to have 12 inches. Right here, these are actually 13, but we're going to say this board is 12 inches long, or wide. Length is 96 inches long. There's all this crap on here. So there's 8 board foot.
That's 8 board foot.
8 board foot. So 1 by 12, it's 8 foot. So there'd be 8 foot will give you 8 board foot.
Okay. Oh, it's 8 foot. I thought it was 10 foot.
Right. So if that was only 6 inches wide, you'd have half the board
Half the
foot.
board foot.
So you don't have 4 board
So
foot.
here's the question. I was thinking about this last night. All right, when you cut a log, and I'll just bring it back up here to you. When you cut a log, and how do you wait till you measure the boards and then figure out your board foot, or do you know what board foot you get after?
So when you're throwing a log up, you cut 4 sides off. You'll cut your first slab off, and you'll turn the log. You'll cut another, and you'll turn it at 90 degree. You'll cut the side off, and then you flip it, and then you can start kind of going down.
Right.
Once I get that cant, I can look at it and know exactly how much
Okay.
board foot is.
So you wait until you have the 4 sides always squared up.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I know what
Now, what
side.
if somebody wanted live edge?
So on live edge, you measure 3 parts of the wood. You would measure in the first 6 inches, you'd measure in the very middle, and then you measure down here in the last 6 inches, and then you add it all together and divide it by 3.
Okay.
And that's your average.
And the reason I asked is I was thinking last night, I was saying, well, I was telling my wife, I said, well, if you got a 10-foot board and it's 36 inches, the first cut you made may be, 6 inches wide. But when you get down to the next cut, it's going to have more board in it. It's going to cost you like $6 to make that cut.
Well, there are some people out there that'll charge you for the widest part on the board, but I don't find that to be
I just was curious on how that was all figured out, and so, I'm sure a lot of people do. I mean, people go, well, yeah, I understand what a board foot is. Some people might not understand board foot, but then how do you figure out when you're cutting the wood if it's round? You square it all up first before you cut it, because you cut it into planks.
So my wife actually does the board footage as it's coming off, and she's stacking it to be air dry.
Okay.
So when I get a full stack, she doesn't even have to actually do board foot per each board. So whenever I get done stacking on the end of my mill, it's going to be 4 foot wide on one of my metal racks at home is what I usually use. Or as for, say if I'm portable and I'm at someone else's house, I'll just measure it out. And the first layer is 4 foot wide, and I just stay with that going up, and then I can say
This is Arnold. I just now clicked. We found these people at the fair, not the fair, the expo, are going to do our llamas, process the llama wool, and we're going to ship it to them. They're in Wisconsin. It's sheer wool fiber mill, and she does it up to the roving stage, and then I need to find a spinner. But we just came back on our second day to exchange cards and contact information and get it into spinning. Then, in walking around, we ran into Arnold, who did their llamas before. They sheared them 2 years ago. Couldn't get in contact with him early enough this year, and he's actually getting out of the business. But anyway, he's talking to us, and we couldn't figure out what it was, why he sounded familiar and why he knew us. But yeah, this was the first year that we had come to the farm, and we also had the llamas sheared in Buffalo when we went to the Missouri Llama Group when they were doing a 2-day clinic of this kind of stuff. So you never know who you're going to meet at the expo. So Arnold has some info on us on a spinner.
But okay, Arnold, tell us again about the place in Texas. It's called what in Texas?
I think it's the rug shop. In Paint Rock, Texas.
Paint Rock, Texas, a rug shop. We'll have to check into that. And then the other way was up here in Buffalo. And you're going to look at her name or?
You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah.
Tim Koloff is her husband.
Tim Koloff.
Did they do the rescue? They had.
The rescue. That's Tim. We know them.
Yeah.
That's the rescue people. We know.
Yeah.
Them.
Okay.
Yeah, we met you. That's where we met you originally.
The first time you did her.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
it's the rescue group that we went to a couple years ago.
And this year
He's
they didn't
got-
have to come up this year, did they?
No, because they didn't. They gotten rid of all the llamas and
Oh, they did?
alpacas and that. And there's somebody else coming through shearing sheep back in April. They had them to shear.
Yeah, we just, you know, that the year before when you came out and did it, which is fine, but we kept thinking, we're wasting all this fur. There's got to be something you can do with it. And so,
where it takes, and I don't know whether it was more than one person come to shear them this year, but it's a little tough to lay them down.
This is one guy and his wife. He tackled them and he got them on the pad, stretched them out, but he was done in 8 minutes each one, complete. And it's a complete shear.
Well, he should have worked with a crew out of somewhere else.
He does. During the year, he works for Top Knot.
Yeah, but that's the reason I always stand them up. And if somebody wanted to keep them, and she's got a lot of dirt in the fiber anyway because they roll all the time, and if you have a mat down underneath, let it fall, then you pick it up so it don't get grass and hay because. That one customer that got me onto that place in Paint Rock, that's what they did. They kept it picked up, or when it's falling off, they'd pick it.
We got 30 pounds out of it this year. And then somebody online told me that it was worth between $10 and $30 an ounce. And I'm thinking, oh, that's a couple grand. I don't want to sell it, but I don't want to just throw it away because I'm not into throwing money away, you know.
But getting that,
yeah,
it did.
Right.
Somebody may tell you, but finding somebody to buy it.
That is true. That's true.
And that's where I seen the drum cleaner in here, and one of my customers was going to build one to get all that trash, road hay and stuff out, but he never did get it done. But I always thought one of them tumbler type cleaners really worked good to clean them because when you sit there and pick out by hand, forever like that place in Paint Rock.
I think I'm going to shut this off because of the noise.
Yes, everything. Look at that, guys. There's clouds. We may get some rain. It'll cool it all off if it does. All right, we're down here for lunch. Look at the lines. I don't know what everybody has. It's just so crowded you have to walk around. I'm sorry, my knee is not going to let me walk around without sitting down once in a while. But there's a lot of people that have the same idea. Everybody must get hungry at the same time. This is where we got these drinks, and man, they are super good. They're $6 it's a mix of stuff, but it really is good. Lemon juice in it and some other stuff, flavors. I think Susan was in that line right there. I thought maybe she's not, but I would say the hot dog or hamburger is fine with me. I'm easy. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys. I tell you what, this is huge. So hopefully next year the Expo, the Oki Expo, will be as big as this one is.
We got soil blockers here at the Ozark Homesteading Expo. A great way to save space when you're starting seeds and get your plants off to a right start. The air pruning effect will keep the roots from circling and help them be able to root and transplant a lot easier and faster. And then I'm going to get a bigger plant with less soil because those roots will use the full volume of soil. And so these are long-lasting tools. I've had mine for 15 years and no issues with it. And I've made thousands and thousands and thousands of soil blocks. So I like to use these bottom watering trays or mesh bottom trays from Bootstrap Farmer, and I'll bottom water. So I'll fill that with water. I'll twist my plants in it until they're saturated, and then I pick them back up. And
okay.
That way they're not sitting in the water.
So we're trying to do hydroponics also.
Okay.
And that's what we did the Jiffy pods because we watch the thing and put them on hydro. But I think our water's real hard, and I think that had a problem with it because the plants all grew and then just started all whittling down. And they're not growing down into the water. And they're kind of sitting in water. Yeah. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have to do something different, and so they're not in the water. Or they like get them in the water for a day or two, and then back out of the water and let them dry out until the roots get long enough to get into the water itself.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's the first year we're experimenting. Anyways, thank you very much, and there's the information.
Yep, we ship
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
all kinds of farm products,
We're
fertilizer,
in Arkansas.
high tunnels.
Yeah, where in Arkansas are you?
We're in Central Arkansas.
Central, okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure thing. Thank y'all.
Eric's like, I'm out. We're going to win it there on now.
No, I will start it in like 5 seconds.
Oh, he's got it going up there. Are you running live?
Oh, hey! Maybe just wave at the camera.
I'll give you one of ours and then you'll connect you to our group. And yeah, you can sell it.
There it went. Now it's on.
We're just all YouTubers.
Yeah,
We're from all over. And
your white legs guy is mine.
But I did live in Alabama.
Hi, colors. Pretty close to the same.
Oh, no, you're pretty dang white.
I got
You
scars.
had surgery. Dale, you
I'm blonde. I'm a blonde.
So we're in a wave of doing photos. Right now it's all the men. The women all did theirs earlier.
Look at Tara's camera.
1, 2, 3.
cheese. Look at the cheese dog.
Now you didn't hear it.
I was going to say,
And you see the pain in the picture.
Yeah.